Hey everyone, it's Paul again here from Using Technology Better. Well, congratulations, you've made it to the last video number 3, part 3 in the Mac Essentials series. If you haven't watched the first 2, I would encourage you to go back and have a look at them. There could be some things that you've missed when you're setting up your Mac for the first time. Today, we're going to dig a little bit deeper. We're going to look at some of the advanced features that are built into your Mac, and this will hopefully lead in beautifully to our next series, which is looking at Mac productivity, how to be more productive and efficient with your Mac with the kind of work that you do. Hope you find this useful, and don't forget you can pause this video at any stage, jump onto your Mac and explore some of the tools that I'm showing you in this tutorial. Good luck, everyone. We're up to Mac Essentials Part 3. We're looking at Finder, Shortcuts, Mac Accessibility Assistant, connecting to an external device like a mouse, AirPlay and AirDrop, and we'll be digging a little bit deeper into these areas during this video tutorial. So why don't we get started with Finder? Finder is our little icon down the bottom left-hand corner of our dock, and you can see up the side we've got lots of different areas. Our recent files that have just been opened recently. We've got our applications where we can find all the applications that we use on our Mac. We've got our desktop, which is nice and clean at the moment and has been tidied up. Documents is where we store most of our information. And then we have our downloads, followed by the locations of where our documents are stored. Now, this is where we can add when our Mac is connected to cloud services. So you might be using a cloud service that you can actually save directly to and not on the Mac, but in the cloud itself. Why don't we have a look just quickly around Finder? If we go to our documents, you can see here, like other platforms, we've got a couple of different views up the top. We've got our grid view and our list view. Okay, at any stage, we can actually click on the right-hand side. So using our right click, which is where we customized our right click or our secondary click in our trackpad. So if you haven't seen the earlier video tutorials, please go back and watch Mac Essentials 1 and 2. And we can clean those up and we can view those in different ways. So we might say clean up by the name or the file size, depending on which view. When we look at our list view, you can see that we can definitely arrange those by dates, size, kinds of documents, those sorts of things down the side. You'll also notice that we have got some folders based in here as well. Now, creating folders is really easy, and there's a couple of ways that we can do it. We can just right-click, which is probably the easiest way, and we can create a new folder. So I might be creating a new folder for meetings, and you can see here, I've created that folder from the start. We've got different tools at the top of our menu bar up here that we can do some other things. So we can compress and we can make files, and we can share files and have quick looks at different files as well. But we've also got these tabs here as well. Let's have a look at what we're doing here. We might look at our meeting notes, and we might want to actually put a tag on that. You can see here, I've got my red and my categories. We've got all of our tags here. If we wanted to, we could go to one of our documents. Let's go to our meeting notes here. We can right click and we can actually tag that. So we've got down the bottom some quick actions that we can do to the document itself, but we can also apply tags to that at the same time. So if I click on my tags, I can apply to that tag a red. Now the red might not mean anything. I can also do multiple, so it might be red and green if you like. When we tag that information, it doesn't make too much sense here because you can see that it's only tagged by the name of the color. But if we go to the tags themselves here, we can actually do some different things to them. So if we go up here, we can open up, we can sort, we can use our different groups, but we can also do some things like creating our own tags. So if I click on the tag area on the side and the down arrow, it creates all of the tags. If we've got our tags here, it's as simple as right-clicking and renaming that blue tag something that we might do. So it could be a department, it could be health and safety, and all of a sudden we can tag those. If we go to our red and we right-click and we rename that red tag, we might make those meeting notes or meetings, And now when we go to our documents, we can see that we can start to tag those information. So if I look at my tags for meetings, it's going to come up those ones that I've tagged. Using tags is a helpful way of finding, and we'll delve into that a little bit more with the productivity going forward. So you can see here that Finder is a great way to store documents, create folders, get organized, but it's also another way of connecting to your cloud services at the same time. Let's move on. The next one we wanted to look at is Shortcuts. Now, Shortcuts is actually an application, and an application I want to use today to look at some of the ways that we can support you as a Mac user. So like in the first two tutorials, if I go up to my Spotlight, which I've encouraged everyone to use to find, and we type in Shortcuts, Shortcuts are predetermined little programs that you can run. And you can see here, if I'm in the gallery section here, there's lots of different ways that we can use. So we've got shortcuts to stop distractions, to give notes to colleagues, to give quick notifications to people that they're on the way home. There's lots of different ones. So have a look through the gallery and see if there's ones or shortcuts that you can use in your workflows. The one that I wanted to look at today are the shortcuts for accessibility. So if I click on that, it gives me all of the shortcuts for accessibility. And you can see some of these are also applicable to your iPhone or iPad that we'll do in a later tutorial. But I've got one here called the Mac Accessibility Assistant. So if I click on the little plus, it's now gone into my shortcuts here as a little program that I can run to help in either functionality of my Mac or productivity or those different things. Let's have a look at this one and see what this one does, because it's going to really support me as a user of my Mac. If I press play, it's going to run me through a little tutorial. It's going to say, Paul, tell me the kinds of things that you might need support with. For me, I've got some vision impairments. I don't have great eyesight, so I'm going to click vision. I'm going to say that I wear reading glasses, and I'm also sensitive to light, but we might come back and do that. So I'm going to press done, and then I'm going to add another one. So I'm going to press add more again. I'll do the vision. I'll press done. This one I'll do sensitivity to light, and I'm going to add one more, because in my workplace, I do find it hard to concentrate at times. So I'm going to go to cognitive. I'm going to press done, and it says, Paul, what are the issues that you're kind of struggling with? So I'm going to go with concentration issues in the workplace, and I'm going to click done. Then I'm going to press finished and done again. And what that does for me is it creates a really, really great note for me. So Notes is another app that's native on Mac, and it's going to tell me all of the things that I can turn on with my tools to support me with my vision and also my concentration. You can see here it's got voiceover, it's got Zoom, and it's given me some little tutorials from Apple about how I can access those. It's also got things to help me with my concentration. Things like using my clock to set timers, looking at apps in full screen for my vision, creating background sounds like noises like maybe ocean or rain to help me concentrate on unwanted noise to help me focus. So it's got a range of different things. It's even got some books that might be great for me as well in regard to listening to those. So I wanted to show you this for two reasons. Number one is I wanted to show you all about shortcuts and going to the gallery there and looking at the shortcuts that might help you. And we'll delve into these a little bit more with productivity. But I also wanted to show you it because the Mac Assistant or Accessibility Assistant for Mac allows me to find exactly the kind of tools on my Mac that are going to support me become more productive at work. Let's minimize that and move on. One thing that we might want to do is connect an external device or a mouse, for example. Now, in the first two videos, we've looked at trackpad and how effective they can be with gestures and the range of different commands that you can actually use your Mac and navigate around using the trackpad. If you are using a mouse, there are some easy ways to connect to. If we go up to our control center, which we looked at in videos 1 and 2, and we click on our Bluetooth, you can see here that I've got the devices that I'm currently connected to. If I click off that and just go to my Spotlight and type in Bluetooth, it will give me the devices that I'm connected to, and it will also search for ones that are connected here. So if I'm connecting via Bluetooth, they will come up with a nearby and we can connect through that way. It's a really great way of looking at what I can connect to in regard to my mouse. And Bluetooth mouse is a great way of connecting to your iPad, but also your Mac as well. And I think a Mac with Bluetooth is a really great connection going forward. So that's one way to connect. Go to Bluetooth, look at those that are on. A little note from me, just make sure that your mouse or your external device is actually looking at being found. So normally there'll be a little blue flashing light or something that indicates that that external device is on and that we can actually search and find for it going forward. We can also do some other great things in regard to the control center up here. You can also see that I've got some screen mirroring. Now, screen mirroring is absolutely brilliant to connect through Bluetooth and Wi-Fi for some extent to external devices or external screens. So if I click on screen mirroring, you can see that I've got my living room being a smart TV all ready to connect to. Now, these will come up in regard to different screens that you actually can connect to. When we look at the Mac and the iPhone, we can also connect our iPhone directly and screen mirror to our Mac as well, which comes in handy. We'll go through that in a later tutorial. If I go down to my display settings, I can also choose how that looks on my screen. So here you can see that I can actually connect to my living room TV, but I can also connect here to the type of resolution that I want on my built-in display here. So I can kind of alter that a little bit. If that doesn't pop up, make sure that you click on Advanced down the bottom and just turn on or toggle on, the resolution list here. So that will allow you to customize that when you do project to an external screen, you can keep and mirror your display so it doesn't go really tiny or really large in regard to the displays that you are connecting to. We call that AirPlay or screen mirroring, and it's a great feature of Apple being able to connect and actually show your screen on different Apple devices. If you've got an Apple TV or something in a meeting room, a lot of smart TVs will connect naturally now and will come up as an option for your screen mirroring, just like my TV in my living room. But you can also connect things like Apple TVs to connect your device directly to a TV or a projection screen as you go along. Finally, we want to look at AirDrop. So why don't we go to one of our devices here, or one of our Finder documents here that I'll connect here, and I'll go to my documents, and I might go to my meeting notes that I've tagged here beautifully here. What we can do is we can share those, or we can AirDrop those to other people. And the best way of doing that is just going to File and going to Share. Now, when we share that document and we click on AirDrop, you'll see that any other devices and Apple devices that have got AirDrop capabilities will go there. Just make sure that they've got their AirDrop turned on and they can receive from anyone. So AirDrop is a great way of looking at giving your documents or sharing your documents or collaborating on documents at a really, really quick way and a quick and productive way going forward. If we want to look at our settings a little bit further and we want to troubleshoot a little bit, once again, let's go up to Spotlight. Let's type in AirDrop. And if I look at my system settings, you can see that at the moment I've got AirDrop accepting from everyone. I can customize that. So if I'm on my iPhone or on my Mac and I'm in a bus or a crowded or a public area, I might actually turn that off or make it my contacts only so that no one can see you in regard to airdropping files. But you can also do a range of different things in regard to things like requiring passwords. You can connect a whole range of different services that will make AirDrop exactly how you want it in your workplace going forward. So there we go. We've looked at a couple of different things today in our final Mac Essentials session. We looked at Finder, creating folders, tagging, doing some of those things. We looked at shortcuts, which is a great way to explore what your Mac is capable of doing. We looked at Mac Accessibility Assistant and actually turning on some of those tools that can really support us in our workplace. Connecting external devices like a mouse. We looked at AirPlay and AirDrop. In the next series, we're going to look at Mac productivity. What are the tools, what are the applications, and how can we really focus on our work and ensure that when we spend our time on our Mac, it's productive and efficient. Paul Hamilton here for Using Technology Better.